In this video, we are covering 6 things. First is design thinking, which is the most popular way to build digital products. Then we are going to see how double diamond process overlaps with design thinking process. And finally, how the 4 thinking methods map to the entire design process framework. The 4 thinking methods we will cover in the context of designs are first principles thinking, critical thinking, creative thinking, and second order thinking. And if you're wondering why are we getting into thinking and how is thinking a skill set for designers, here's the thing. If you break down UX design process, it is simply a series of questions and answers to suggest an optimal change. The core of creative problem solving is asking right questions and connecting the right answers. Most young designers don't understand that the quality of a designer is directly proportional to the quality and quantity of questions that they ask. For example, if you are asked to cut down a tree with an axe, two things matter: with what power you are hitting the tree and how many times you are hitting the tree. High quality questions are like high power hits. As you grow up as a designer, you will have less and less time to solve a problem, which means the number of questions that you can ask will reduce because you won't get enough time. In that case, you will have to rely on asking better questions, and getting better at thinking leads to getting better at asking questions. To create videos like this, I'm trying to use up all my experience from NIT, NID, and 6 years of designing for global fintechs. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. That will motivate me to make more such content on design. Thanks for subscribing, and now let's talk about design thinking. It's actually quite simple and straightforward way to create not just digital product but simply anything. So the process starts with empathy and understanding the context, understanding what your user needs, what your business needs, technical constraints, and so on. Then you use all the researched information to define what exact problem you want to solve. Then you come up with multiple ideas to solve that problem. Then you narrow down a few ideas that you think works best and make prototypes out of it. Prototypes are fake versions of a real product that is easy to make but feels real to use. This is also the step where screens are made, and then you take those screens and test them. Based on the result, you modify the design and send it for development. So that's design thinking. Another scary jargon, which at its core is again common sense, is double diamond process. After design thinking, this is probably the second most popular design process, but in reality, they both talk about the exact same thing. And I'll show you how. By the way, it's called double diamond process because when you visualize it, it forms two diamonds in the diagram. Divergence, marked as D here, simply means to create more data points, and convergence, marked as C, simply means to narrow down those data points. Now, how are design thinking and double diamond process correlated? Well, in the design process, the part where you try to understand the context is where you do divergent thinking to make a lot of data points. Then you use convergent thinking to narrow down the data points to define the problem. Then you diverge again to create a lot of ideas to solve the problem, and then you converge again to narrow down those ideas into fewer ideas. So what we understand so far is there are two ways of saying the same strategy, but on top of it, there are 4 thinking methods that spread across the design process. The first of the 4 method is first principles thinking. It's a way to understand the context by breaking down complexities into its basic truth. And you do that by asking many whys and whats. For example, let's say you are asked to design Google Pay for kids. Your line of questions using first principles will be: why kids? Who are these kids? Where do they live? What is their age? Etc. etc. This is all about understanding your user. After user, you also need to understand the business context. For example, what's Google Pay optimized for? That's like a corporate way to say, what does Google Pay intend to do which is better than its competitor? Then you can also ask what benefit will user get and what benefit will the business get? And finally, you can also ask how is this particular problem solved today in a different context? So these are some examples of first principles questioning. And this first principle questioning is majorly used in the phase 1 of design, which is to understand user and the business context. Next is critical thinking. This is the ability to think through available information. It is used to synthesize data to insights, analyze situations from different point of views, and at times questioning what might be considered standard solutions. For example, imagine for the same Google Pay for Kids case, you have the data that the app is made for student in class 8 to 10. And the goal is to digitize the pocket money experience that involves both student and parents. Critical thinking converts data to insights. Here the insight means information that's more solution oriented. For example, when you know that it's for 8th class student, you tend to make a point that both standard and creative UI patterns can be used as the children of this age group are tech savvy. That's converting data to information. But critical thinking also means thinking from different lenses. Like when we say 8 to 10 class students, we ask questions like, will there be certain banking restriction for children of that age that we should be aware of? This is from a compliance point of view. Similarly, from psychological point of view, you can ask, would children of this age be comfortable in sharing transaction details with their parents, or would they prefer some privacy? So critical thinking is extremely important in places of convergent thinking. These are places you have some information and you need to act on those information to make those decisions. This is where critical thinking is very, very important. Now the third one is creative thinking. It's the process of connecting dots. It's how you use all the resources available to you to find alternative solutions by mixing and matching different ideas. For example, let's say in the same use case of Google Pay for kids, you are ideating on how to build saving habits for kids. With creative thinking, you start with connecting different relevant informations. For example, here's an idea to use the metaphor of Gulak or Indian piggy bank to show your saving wallet. Once user adds money to it, you give them a scratch card, which is a native Google Pay feature that already exists. Now the scratch card gives you reward points, and those reward points lead to a level progression. For example, you can say the Gulak was at level 24. Now with the progression, it has reached level 25 after getting some reward points. Finally, you want to make it cool to save money. So you show a well-designed screen for user reaching new levels, which as a designer you expect them to share in Instagram stories to show off their achievement, which in return would also market your feature that you have created. Creativity in reality is not as structured as I showed. It's actually chaotic. It's the second half of design process when you are into solutioning. This is where creative thinking is required the most. Last in the list is second order thinking, which is simply evaluating decisions like, if this will happen, then what will happen? And if that will happen, then what else will happen, and so on. For every step, you evaluate the pros and cons. For example, let's say you want to introduce a point system in Google Pay. The positive impact is stickiness. User might want to use the app more and more. For that, you also need to create share-worthy visuals like we discussed earlier. But along with stickiness, it might also create confusion also. Because the app already has real money, now you're introducing fake money or reward points, which could confuse the user. What's needed here is good visual distinction between reward points and real money. This technique of thinking through the pros and cons and thinking through the ripple effects of a change is extremely useful when you narrow down ideas in the final stages of design. By the way, there is also something called as systems thinking, which is like the father of second order thinking. It's slightly advanced stuff, so we will cover it later someday. So to sum up, we learned the two most popular design processes, design thinking and double diamond process. And we also learned how they talk about the same thing from different perspectives. And finally, we covered the four thinking methods, which are first principles thinking, critical thinking, creative thinking, and second order thinking. But remember one thing, thinking cannot be taught in one video. It's a skill you keep honing over your lifetime. My goal was to introduce thinking to you in a structured way, and I hope it was useful. That's it for this video. In the next chapter, we'll follow tools first approach and learn just enough Figma to get started. And then you will also get your first design task. So like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.